If you have Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis, and you've been told this is just something you manage forever, that your immune system is randomly attacking you, that the best you can hope for is keeping symptoms under control, I need to tell you 7 things that are going to change how you see your condition and your future. In the next 12 minutes, I'm going to share the 7 truths about IBD that I wish everyone understood. These are not tips or hacks. They are foundational shifts that change the trajectory of your health. And by the end, you will understand what has been missing and what actually moves the needle. You have tried the diets. You have tried the supplements. You have done what you were told. Maybe your markers improved, maybe they did not, but you still do not feel in control. The fatigue lingers. The flares keep coming. And the worst part is not just the symptoms. It is the uncertainty, not knowing which version of yourself you will get on any given day, not knowing if this is as good as it gets. I am Dr. Rachel Sarah Brown. I have spent over 2 decades in medicine, combining my training as a doctor with functional medicine and applied quantum biology, as well as the science of cellular energy. Over the years, I've worked with people facing Crohn's, colitis, and other chronic inflammatory conditions where gut inflammation was a part of the bigger picture. Intelligent, committed people who could not understand why nothing was giving them lasting results. What I have learned has completely changed how I approach this work. I'm going to walk you through the 7 most important things I have learned about IBD in 23 years of medicine. The things that would have saved my patients years of confusion and frustration if they had known them sooner. Point 1. Your gut cannot heal without enough cellular energy. Healing requires energy. Your gut lining turns over rapidly. It needs constant repair. Your immune system needs energy to regulate properly. Detoxification requires energy. Everything your body does to calm inflammation and rebuild tissue depends on your cells having enough power to do the job. When cellular energy is low, repair slows, inflammation lingers, and symptoms persist. Not because your body is broken, but because it does not have the fuel to fix itself. You are not broken. You are underpowered. I see this constantly. People come to me having tried every supplement, every diet, every medication, but nothing has addressed the foundational issue. Their cells are depleted. They're running on empty at the mitochondrial level. You cannot heal in a low energy state, no matter how perfect your protocol looks on paper. Think of your body like a construction site. You can have the best materials, the best blueprints, the best workers. But if there is no electricity, nothing gets built. Power first, everything else second. Ask yourself whether you have ever addressed your cellular energy directly, or whether you have been focusing only on what to take or what to remove. Point 2 is that food is not the whole answer. Diet matters, don't get me wrong, but food is not the whole game or the end game. I see people cycle through low FODMAP, carnivore, keto, plant-based, gluten-free, dairy-free. Every flare triggers a new restriction. They stay stuck because they are treating a systems problem with a food solution. Yes, certain foods can aggravate symptoms, but inflammation is not just a food reaction. It involves immune regulation, barrier integrity, nervous system function, and cellular energy production. You cannot diet your way out of a depleted system. Food is one input. It's one single input. It's not the master switch. People come to me more restricted than ever, more stressed about food than ever, and still unwell, because they've been treating the gut like a food sensitivity problem, when it is actually an energy and regulation problem. Imagine your house is on fire. You could choose perfect furniture, but if you do not put out the fire first, none of it matters. Notice how much mental energy you spend on food versus sleep, stress, and recovery. That tells you where your focus has been. Point 3 is that your body is not randomly attacking itself. We are so much smarter than that. Inflammation is a response. It is not a random malfunction. Your immune system is reacting to something. Barrier breakdown, metabolic stress, signals that tell it there's a problem. When we frame autoimmunity as the immune system going rogue, we miss the point. The immune system is doing its job. It is responding to upstream drivers that have not been addressed. You do not have a broken immune system. You have an immune system responding to conditions it does not like. When people stop seeing their body as the enemy, everything shifts. They can then move from fighting their biology to working with it. Think of inflammation like a fire alarm. You do not smash the alarm and call it fixed. You find out why it is ringing. Ask yourself whether you've been suppressing symptoms or investigating what is driving them. If this is already changing how you see your IBD, subscribe for more. I post every week on gut health, cellular energy, and what is actually driving inflammation. Point 4. Your markers do not always match how you feel. If your markers look acceptable but you feel awful, you are not imagining it. Markers measure inflammation at a point in time. They do not measure your energy, resilience, or nervous system state. You can have acceptable CRP and still be running on empty at the cellular level. Your labs are fine does not mean you are fine. This mismatch is one of the most frustrating parts of IBD. People feel dismissed when their markers are not dramatic enough, or terrified when their numbers are high even though they feel okay. Conventional testing does not capture cellular energy or metabolic resilience, but those drive how you feel every single day. If you feel there is more going on than the tests are showing, trust that instinct. Point 5. Stress is biological, not just psychological. Stress directly drives inflammation. When you're chronically stressed, your nervous system shifts into survival mode. Cortisol rises, sympathetic activation increases, gut barrier function weakens, blood flow shifts away from digestion. This is physiology. I see flares follow travel, sleep loss, work deadlines, even emotional conflict. Your nervous system and your gut are not separate. Chronic stress is chronic inflammation. Stop treating stress management as optional. Stop ignoring sleep and recovery while perfecting your diet. Start treating your nervous system state as a primary driver of gut health. Prioritize recovery and sleep as therapeutic. Point 6 is that suppression is not the same as healing. Calmer labs do not automatically mean you have healed. If your CRP drops but your energy is still low, if your calprotectin improves but your digestion is fragile, you have suppressed, not restored. Suppression keeps the fire under control. Healing means the fire stops starting in the first place. Lower markers are not the finish line. A system that can regulate itself without constant intervention is the finish line. Imagine a building with a cracked foundation. You can keep patching the walls, but unless you fix the foundation, the cracks keep returning. Ask yourself whether you are managing symptoms or restoring resilience. Point 7. Your circadian rhythm is more important than you think. Your circadian rhythm directly impacts gut health, immune function, and energy production. Light exposure, sleep timing, and meal timing are all signals that tell your mitochondria when to produce energy and when to shift into repair. You can take every supplement in the world, but if your circadian rhythm is broken, your cells do not know when to heal. I see people doing everything right during the day, but undoing their recovery at night with irregular sleep and screen exposure. Think of your circadian rhythm like a conductor leading an orchestra. When the timing is consistent, everything works together. When it is erratic, coordination is lost. You can start correcting this tonight. Get outside for morning light, even if it is cloudy. Avoid blue light after sunset, dim screens and overhead lights. Notice your sleep timing and last meal timing. Morning light tells your mitochondria to ramp up. Even darkness tells them to shift into repair. This is foundational biology, and it is within your control. These 7 truths took me over 2 decades to fully understand. They have changed how I work with every single client who comes to me feeling stuck and frustrated. You are not broken, and I want you to know that. You are not destined to manage this forever. Your body has been missing the conditions it needs to heal: cellular energy, the right signals, a regulated nervous system, space to recover. When you restore these foundations, everything shifts, not by suppressing symptoms, but by creating the conditions where your body can regulate itself again. In the next video, I'm breaking down exactly why you feel awful even when your markers look normal. The mismatch between labs and how you feel is one of the most frustrating parts of IBD, and I'm going to explain what is actually happening and what to do about it. Click the link around this video and watch that one next.